Hey everybody, this is Travis Singleton from BlackAthlete.net, and I brought my best friend, Gethin Coolbaugh, Boston journalist. Brought him along. We're going to be doing a playoff summary. Basically, we're going to grade all the teams that are in the playoffs, Eastern and Western. So we're going to make sure we knock those out. We're going to start it off with the Boston Celtics. First of all, Boston Celtics fell tonight to the Nets. In a close game throughout, but the Nets pulled it off. I believe it was 101-93.
101-93. Darren Williams, Joe Johnson, and Brook Lopez combining for 70 of their 101 points. That's pretty impressive, and that certainly doesn't bode well for the Celtics. Although at this point, with the Nets being the 4th seed and the Celtics being the 7th seed, a first-round matchup is pretty unlikely, but Celtics probably don't want to see this team in the playoffs.
Definitely don't. One thing about the Nets that impressed me tonight was they never say die. The Celtics went on a nice little run, and everybody thought they were coming back. Jason Terry's getting the crowd into it, and then all of a sudden, Darren Williams just gets into fourth quarter game mode and pretty much put it away with a couple of big shots down the stretch. So I don't think we'll be running into him in the playoffs, but if we do, it would be a good series. But let's open it up. What do you think about the Celtics locking down in that 7th seed and going up against the New York Knicks? How would you grade both teams going into that series?
Well, exactly. Coming into this game tonight, the Celtics were 3 games up on the Bucks, and I believe the Knicks were a couple games up on the Pacers, so it's pretty safe to assume it will be Celtics-Knicks, although in the East anything can change. The only thing that's basically locked in is the fact that the Heat are number 1 and probably going to the finals anyway. But we might as well play the guessing game. If it is Celtics-Knicks, you look to history. These two teams have played each other pretty well. Paul Pierce, as you said before this game, Paul steps his game up at MSG. He loves to play there. The Celtics like playing at MSG.
Yeah.
It would be a good series. I couldn't see the Celtics going out in 4. I'd probably pick New York, unfortunately, for Celtics fans, but in 6 games.
See, for me, I just have to see the Knicks prove it to me. We've seen them throughout right now they're the Indianapolis Colts when Peyton Manning was there of the regular season. The Spurs of the regular season for the Eastern Conference.
It's a great team that just can't get it done.
Exactly. Carmelo has that hitch, he has that niche on his shoulder, and he just can't get past that first round. So I want to see him be able to expand his game and bring it to another level and bring his team, with him. Right now, if I was to grade the Knicks, I would definitely give them an A-. Right now. If we're going to go into the playoffs, they're on the 13-game winning streak right now. And I would definitely give them an A- because if you look at all the play of the people that had to step up, even from off the bench, they had, what's his name come off the bench? I believe it was Felton. Felton came off for Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd came off for him. They switched up. But then they have so many banged up players. Kmart, Chandler, they're down and they're still winning like this. And you have to give credit to J.R. Smith and Carmelo Anthony. J.R. Smith, in my eyes, should be the 6th man of the year. And also Carmelo, he's on pace to being a scoring champion. So I definitely they just gelled together at the right time. Definitely before the playoffs.
Exactly, and the Knicks would be a tough team, but still the team to beat in this conference, and possibly the whole NBA has to be the Miami Heat, defending champions. This basketball team, when they went on that 27-game winning streak, it was unlike something we've seen in about 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
If they bring that level of play into the playoffs, and right now, tonight in their game, they had both Bosh, Wade, and LeBron, sit out. They're certainly resting up. If they're healthy going into the playoffs, they could just completely breeze right through it. So there's no way they aren't the favorite, and they'll probably get back to the finals, if not win it all.
All right, now who would you see making it in the Western Conference? The Western Conference is always tight, but do you see anybody taking out OKC?
That would be tough. I know the San Antonio Spurs have had a great year, but in the same way you compare the Knicks to the Colts of the regular season, recently the Spurs certainly had their success in the early 2000s, late 90s, but they have been a team that's done well in the regular season, then they go out in the playoffs. However, this year, I would certainly love to see a Thunder Spurs Western Conference final. I think that would be competitive. But still, Oklahoma City with Durant and Westbrook still going into their prime. That's the thing. They're in their young 20s, and they're already 2 of the best basketball players on the planet. That's like you said, that's scary.
That is scary.
And if they retain those guys, and they'll certainly be costly, they'll be dominant for years to come, regardless of who's around them.
Yeah.
So I don't really see anybody taking out the Thunder. Interestingly enough, though, the team we all thought would be the champion going into the year, the Los Angeles Lakers, are battling with the Jazz for the 8th seed in the playoffs. They may or may not get it, but if you get a first-round series of Lakers-Thunder, that's certainly good for television.
Yeah, it is.
I don't see how you could pick the Lakers, though, after the regular season. At the same time, I think that's a 5 or 6 game series.
It would be a 5 or 6 game series, and at the same time, they still have the Black Mamba. I will never
count on Kobe.
I will never count him out. I will never count him out. That guy, like I told you all a couple weeks ago, I watched the 81-point game faithfully, and lately he's been showing those strides. He's had over 30 games this year with over 30 points. And that's impressive. That means he's been carrying his team, and he's trying to carry them into the playoffs right now, in which...
And that's exactly the thing. He's carrying his team. And if you look at, the MVP race, certainly LeBron James has had a tremendous year.
Yeah.
But it depends how you define MVP, because without Kobe Bryant, the Lakers are nothing.
Of course.
Especially this year. Kobe has done exactly that. He's carried the Lakers into contention.
Yeah.
And that's going to be overlooked by, a tremendous season by LeBron James. No disrespect to him. Melo's had a good year. Durant's had a good year. But Kobe, of all the years, this is impressive. At this age, he's still carrying the Lakers.
That's impressive. We just saw Jerry Stackhouse, and I was like, wow, I wonder how he still does it. But you got to look at Kobe, too. 16 or 17 years in the league still, and he's putting up dominant numbers. Dominant. He's putting up numbers like he's still in his prime, which is really scary. But this also is a credit to how well in shape he is. For him to play at this type of level, a lot of people are like, oh, he must be doing something. But you got to look at his dedication. He's out there shooting 3 hours ahead of time. He's out in the gym all the time. He's putting up shots all the time. Him and Ray Allen are the 2 hardest working shooters in this league, to me. And it pays off every time he's on the court. So I believe the Lakers can squeeze in there. The Jazz have the tendency of, letting up a little bit, but they do have the tiebreaker between the Lakers. So that's something that's going to play a factor, too.
Now, in each conference, the East and West, who do you see as the dark horses? And I certainly have mine. I'll let you go first.
All right. The one team that I believe that can actually make it in the East that a lot of people are sleeping on is the Pacers. I believe that the Pacers are a scary team. They have Granger. Is he back? He's back, right?
He's out for the year, I believe.
He's out for the year? Yeah. Oh, see, that just took away a little bit of my
dark. They still have Paul George.
But they still got, Paul George. They got Hibbert. They got, who else is over there? They got George Hill. They got a lot of young talent over there.
That's a talented core.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Granger. But I do think the Pacers, they're very athletic. That's one thing, and they can run you out the gym. And they always play the Heat and the Celtics so well. I think they can squeeze it out in the East. In the dark horse, I'll go for it with the West. I would have to go with the Lakers. Because if they might run into OKC. But it's going to be a competitive, they can easily, they can turn that switch on at any moment. You know what I'm saying? As long as Kobe Bryant's breathing and the clock's still running, he's going to make sure that the team can be in contention. So he's not going to go out without a fight. That what happened a couple years ago with Dallas, when Dallas won the championship and ran right through the Lakers. That would not happen this year. Kobe's not going to have that. And, he's just so competitive. I've grown to like Kobe. As much as I'm a Celtics fan, watching Kobe year from year and how he's progressed. This year he's improved on his passing. He's improved overall as a player.
He's done what the team has needed, and it's really to the point where, exactly like you said, you grow to respect the guy. Even if you're a Celtics fan, any team in the NBA, it's like the Derek Jeter factor with the Red Sox. You don't like the jersey, but you respect the man.
Exactly.
He's certainly one of the best all time.
Exactly.
As far as my dark horses would go, the Knicks don't technically count as a dark horse because they're the 2 seed, but when you have the Miami Heat being the Miami Heat, I'm going to go ahead and say the Knicks as a dark seed, but they haven't proven themselves. As Travis said, it's tough to trust them coming into the playoffs, but they win a couple rounds. I think they would be a tough out for the Heat, although I think Miami ultimately gets it done. And finally, out west, Golden State Warriors. They have a fun team out there. Harrison Barnes, led by Steph Curry.
That's your boy.
David Lee, if Andrew Bogut contributes anything. They have a good team out there, although they certainly won't be favored to do anything in the playoffs with a West that has about the top 5 teams 50+ wins.
Yeah, definitely. It's really hard, for that. And but I do like the coaching job that Mark Jackson has done this year. Very impressive with all the youth he has there and just the way he brought together his core. And it's only his second year, so I mean, that's very impressive. But that was the playoff. That was the playoff review right there. This is the first of many videos coming up. So make sure you look out for Gethin. Tell him your Twitter and everything like that.
At Gethin Coolbaugh. You're probably not going to be able to figure out how to spell that, but I don't know. Maybe over the course of these videos you'll learn my name.
And I'm Travis Singleton, Sneaker Reporter on Twitter. Make sure, tell them the Instagram too. You might as well throw some stuff out there.
I'm on Instagram now too. It took me a while. It's the same thing at Gethin Coolbaugh. I'm also now on Tout and Vine, but we'll get to those later. If you follow me on Twitter, that'd be great. I really appreciate it.
Yep, I'll make sure that I put his Twitter handle in the link and everything like that. Signing out.
All right, thank you.